Okay, first things first. Make sure you have everything. No, for real. So when I came home from the grocery store, not totally thinking ahead like I should be, so this is going to save you time because I'm going to make the mistakes for you so you don't. I put my salmon right back in the freezer. Well, I can't cook frozen salmon, so don't put your frozen food back in the freezer because we don't need to keep it, we need to cook it. So the first thing I'm going to do is put my salmon out or put it in the fridge, however you like to do it, and go ahead and let that thaw so I can cook it. So I won't be cooking my salmon right now in our first session. So let me go ahead and grab the chicken and throw it on the floor. Okay. And I'm not sure if we're doing the turkey right now or not. Okay, so I'm going to do a little short video so that you don't get overwhelmed with me or so I don't throw too much food around. The first thing I'm going to do, and let me get a better view of everything going on here. So normally, I would try to get the cleanest food you can get. People keep messaging me. And I don't mean like dropping on the floor dirty. I mean, so this, I try to find, if I'm going to buy my chicken from the grocery store, I try to find either organic chicken or a chicken that make sure it has no antibiotics, you can get non-GMO fed chickens and things like that. So I have a friend who actually raises chickens, but her chickens aren't ready yet. And so for this particular demonstration, I'm going to use chicken that I bought, and I had two choices. I could get just the regular cheaper chicken, or I paid more per price to get the vegetarian raised, cage-free, no antibiotics, no added hormones, no added steroids, and no animal byproduct chicken. And I got chicken breast. I'm going to take this over to the sink. My sink is not draining awesome, so I'm not really using my sink, but I will right now just to clean the chicken breast off. Now would be a really good time to make sure you have really sharp knives. Make sure your knives are sharp. I know it's really gross. I'll clean it up with my environmental cloth afterwards. To make sure you have super sharp knives and things like that. I'm going to bake this chicken, so my oven needs to be on. Get that baby rolling. I always put my meat and stuff when I do it in the oven. I always just put tinfoil over top of my pan because it just makes it easier to clean the pan after. So there's a little tip for you too. Snuck that one in. So ideally, you guys should be doing this with me. So your chicken should be out on your countertop too. You should be getting your pan. Your oven should be on, and then you can watch all the videos in a row. Take a break if you need to. I don't have the recipe up in front of me. You guys, I don't have internet in my house today. It makes life just slightly more difficult for me because normally then I would have the recipe up here. I don't have data on my iPad, so the recipe up here, and then I would be videoing at the same time. What I like to do for my chicken, and I'm trying to think what the recipe is, I either chop it, like I slice it up, or I'll take these big fat breasts and I'll slice them. There's actually a video on this group where I actually am doing it in a pan, so it's a little bit quicker, but I'm slicing these fat chicken breasts the long way to make them half the size, so cook up so much faster. Tip number 2, don't wait whatever 20 minutes for these to cook up. You can cut your cook time down immensely if you slice them the long way, okay? Get my cutting board. The first time you guys decide to prep for a week or whatever, it will probably take you longer than you're expecting, but you should be able to kind of get it down to a science and get it done in just a couple of hours, like for the whole week, including like packaging kids snacks and stuff up for their lunches. Try not to buy a lot of packaged foods. I know it's so much easier and it's being marketed to you in the grocery store to buy the snack packs and the pre-snack packs, but all that stuff is still packaged junk. So I would buy better quality stuff or do homemade stuff and then pre-package it at home in either reusable containers. Don't cut yourself. If you want to be, you know, environmentally friendly, some people do like the homemade bags that have the wipeable insides, or I do like those Ziploc containers with tops for 2 reasons. These are not very beautiful. 2 reasons. Because they have tops and the food doesn't get crushed. So if I'm doing like my kids, their grapes, they want them to be taunt. So if I put them in a container, then they can't get squished and then they won't come back home. Sometimes food comes back home in their lunches and I'm like, grr, I packed that, I bought that, I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning, I packed your lunches and you didn't eat it? Why? I didn't have time, Mom. They only let me eat for 2 seconds. Or you talked so much you forgot to eat, you know, one or the other. So who knows which one it is. All right, I'm going to have to like seriously do these videos section by section because you might be done already and be like, Dusty, stop talking. Or you might need to pause it or whatever. So I trim all the fatty stuff off or what looks gross to me. Honestly, chicken's kind of gross to me. All of it's gross to me. But not to turn you off or anything. I actually am going to just, that's like, these segments will get longer as I get more familiar with the menus and stuff, but I'm going to go ahead and set this aside and go see what I need to like marinate or season it with, and that's going to go in the oven. I'm going to pull my salmon out and let that start thawing, because normally I would be doing that. I would be cooking the bacon or baking the chicken and the salmon at the same time if you can. I think the cook times are the same. I've never cooked my salmon that way. I usually do it much quicker, like under the broiler. I'm going to follow the recipe. I actually have a double oven as well, so if it's different, I can stick it in a different thing. So you're welcome to come to my house and food prep with me if you want. If I'm home. If I'm not home, you can still come, but you have to clean up after yourself. All right, so the chicken is done, and I'm going to go ahead and view the rest of the menu.